Welcome to the channel, Pain in the Patoot here, and thanks for stopping by. We're going to do another task, and another gunsmith task. This one's part 22 that's just appeared when I got up to level 39. So it is, of course, a mechanic task. All the gunsmith tasks are mechanic tasks. You'll see that I've completed it. I've built the gun because it's ready to take it. I can turn it in. But I'll go through what's needed for you, hopefully to help you complete this task. Um, Toughest part is going to be probably the Reap IR. You can get them for shooting Sanitar for Jaeger. He gives you one from that. And there's another mechanic task, but you need some pretty high-end electronics to get it. But trading's the only way to go, or finding it in raid, because you can't buy it directly. You can barter it from Skier and I think Peacekeeper as well. But and that's how I got it. But it's expensive, man, really expensive. Um, Anyways, let's have a look here. You need an M4A1. You need a KAC QDSS NT-4 FDE, which means tan silencer, an Alexander Arms MK10 handguard. And to go with that, you'll need a 6-inch mount that goes, it's also called an Alexander Arms mount. You'll need that for a foregrip. You can't get your reduction of recoil or ergonomics without a foregrip, so you need it. You got the Reap IR, and there's a little mount that you're going to have to get, and it's really expensive too because people know everybody's doing this task around now. You need a 60 round mag. There's two options, and I'll show you which one to pick. But it does talk about weight, so that means if you're going to use a mag, make sure you empty it. Otherwise, you won't be able to hit the weight restriction of 5 kilograms. Recoil, less than 250. Ergo has to be 40 and above, and that's where you're going to struggle. It's going to be tough to do it. If you haven't seen before what the Reap IR looks like, that's it right there. I think it eventually becomes available from Jaeger, but I am not high enough with him yet that it is. Get the flurs from him, but not the Reap. So there you go. Anyways, let's jump over here. M4A. Oops. M4A1. Oops, I can't type. Okay, so it's a Colt assault rifle available from Mechanic and Peacekeeper. Um, if you do buy it off the flea from somebody other than a trader, make sure you watch this here. It must be 60 and above. That one would qualify. If it's below that, like this one, yeah, it's 800,000. You're not going to buy this one. It doesn't help you to buy it. But mechanic will turn it down if it's that worn. Okay, so you can just buy or trade for an M4. So if we go to the Reap, um, there's no scope, you'll notice. So if I take off barter items, there it is. So Skier and Mechanic both have it out of stock in Mechanic, so I can't get it from him. So if I go to purchase, you'll notice that it's a barter. It's going to be approximately 1 million just to get the components. Components you need are clock, skull, and roller watch. I have one roller watch now, that's why it shows this, but you need 6 rollers in total, 6 skulls, and 5 clocks. That's why it comes up to the 1.1 million rubles. Um, that's the only way to get it. So, sorry. Let's go over and have a look at the gun anyways. So there it is, nice looking gun. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. If you have an M4, of course, you need to change the gas block to this MK12. That's a low profile one, which would allow you to put the Alexander arms. So this long foregrip or handguard, whatever you want to call it, is the Alexander arms. If I go down here, this was the Alexander Arms 10-inch rail. You need that to be able to put a foregrip on, otherwise you won't be able to. And in this case, you need a foregrip. So you must buy the Alexander Arm 10-inch. It is available on the flea. It's very expensive, but you can get it. Here's the NK4. Notice I got gray ones and tan ones, but it must be tan. Because if I switch to gray, my check mark's gone. So they want tan, and the check mark's back, right? So in order to put on this course, I mentioned you need this, which is a KACQDC flash suppressor. You can buy them from Peacekeeper at a very low level, so you should be able to have one of those. The tan back on. Here's the reap. Take it off, and there is the mount you need. A DLOC IRD. Very expensive. It's over 100,000 rubles right now because people know that people are doing this task right now. Okay, so those are the components. The Reap IR, the silencer, and the Alexander arms are the things that you must use. So because they've specified these pieces, it makes it a little tougher for you to play around. And usually on these builds, I try to give you multiple options if possible to complete it, but this one makes it very tough because it specifies three of the components, and that'll affect your ability to map the unit out. So you can see here I've got 40, which it has to be 40 or above. You're going to struggle to get 40. And then the recoil has to be under 250, the total of these two. So that's like 72. So you're good. Recoil is not a problem with this build. It's ergonomics that is. Okay, so let's just go out here, unload. So it talks about a 60 round mag. Those are the two choices for the M4. And you'll notice this has got a 18 penalty on it, whereas this one has only got 16. You don't have to worry about any of the other specs. The round mag is going to negatively impact your ergonomics the least, so you must use it. Okay. So what else affects ergonomics? Well, foregrip, pistol grip. Pistol grip has a huge. That's about. I've never seen a pistol grip that affects recoil. So you'll see here, if I scroll over top of them, they all have negative numbers, which means this ergo right here with plus 15 is the best pistol grip that I have access to at the moment for the M4. So you must buy one of the HK ergos, PSGs, available on the flea. They're not horribly expensive, but you should be running that because that will help you with your ergonomics. The other thing is foregrips. Well, different types of foregrips. This is the traditional foregrip people use to get good ergo because it's got plus 7, but it's not enough for this build. Pop back out here, the check mark's gone. So I checked some of what else I had, and I happen to have the shift, and the shift has plus 8, plus a little bit of recoil reduction. So again, I would usually give you a couple of options for the foregrip, but in this case, you need the forward shift. Okay, so that's forward shift you have to use. You have to use a round 60 round mag. What else? Well, buffer tube. I changed the buffer tube to this advanced buffer tube. There's a gray one and this red one. I just like the red one, but it gives you recoil reduction and gives you a couple of points of ergo. And then you just need to find a stock that helps you with ergo here, which is this is a MOE carbine, a minus 30 recoil. Because recoil is not a problem on this one, you can use this. Sometimes you have to go for a better one, a better stock. But the plus 8 points of ergo is a big thing. Like it's huge. So you pretty much need to use the MOE stock with the little buffer pad because the buffer pad itself has got a couple points of ergo on it. Okay, so you're still probably just if you do the stock, the pistol grip, the mag, foregrip, not going to be enough to get you down on your ergo. So what else can you do? Well, um, charging handle. If you replace the charging handle on your M4 with the Raptor, available on the flea, you get 3 points of ergo. So it's really important to do that. So there's a standard one. I'm only at 39. See the check marks gone. So I switched to the Raptor. Now I'm 40. But just going to the Raptor is not enough. On the Reap IR, you can put a I cup, and it's got 6 points of ergo. So you need to buy the I cup off the flea. And then the final thing to give me one more point of ergo, because at that point I was at 39 and I couldn't reach 40. You can put on M4s a front and rear sight. In this case, with the Alexander arms, you can't put on the front, but you can put on the back sight. So a KAC fold-in micro rear sight. There's a couple of other sights that will work. What you're looking for is this 1 point of ergonomics. So I was at 39, I threw the rear sight on, and bang, I hit 40. So that's it. Notice I'm using the 370 millimeter barrel. There are some other barrels for an M4. Potentially, if you went to Peacekeeper and looked at some of the other lengths of the barrels, there's a 20-inch barrel. So it's got -6 recoil and -29 for ergonomics. So that's not going to help you much. It's a 22-inch barrel, minus recoil, 22 ergonomics. So I just went with this M4 out of stock. It's good enough to do it. So why reinvent the wheel? Anyways, that's it. So quickly, you need the Reap IR. It's a trade item from Skier. You need its mount. You need the eye cup to give yourself enough ergo. You need the rear sight folding to give yourself enough ergo. You need to replace the charging handle with the Raptor to give yourself enough ergo. You need to go to the advanced buffer tube before you put your stock on for some ergo and recoil reduction. You need the right stock, which is the MOE. It doesn't have to be tan. I happen to have a tan. Excuse me. I just happen to have a tan one. But it gives you ergo and recoil, as does the little pad. So you must have the pad. You need to use the round mag because the longer silver mag is worse for ergonomics, and you're going to need every point of ergonomics to get this one done. The shift has got an extra point of ergonomics. It's the best one to help you with build. There might be another one out there, but I'm not sure what it is. You need the Alexander arms and the Alexander arms 10-inch mount for the bottom. You need the NT in tan plus its mount, which is this. And that's everything you need to complete this task. It is, like I said before, the Reap IR is going to be the tough one to get. It is available with a couple of tasks. I haven't completed either one of them, and I got it as a trade item off Skier for 5 clocks, 6 rollers, 6 skull rings. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you complete this task. Thank you.